Hi guys, welcome back. Today's just going to be as short of a video as I can make it. I don't really have anything kind of planned other than the fact that I wanted to talk about beating bullies. A lot of people I know have been bullied a lot recently, more so now than when we was in face-to-face contact because of social medias. And I know that one or two of them watch this, so I thought it'd be like a great way to tell people how I beat my bullies, give some help and advice, because really standing up to your bullies is step one to facing anxiety. A lot of times anxiety is related to bullies. Now, usually the term bully gets associated with somebody picking on you over and over and over again. That is not necessarily the case. It doesn't have to be over and over and over again. It doesn't have to be, a constant thing. It could just be something here and there of this person. It could be, in person, through other people, like talking behind your back and you overhear it. Social medias, stuff like that. So basically, I'm teaching you how to stand up for yourself in a way. Stop the bullies before it becomes bullying, or maybe, you've been bullied by this person for pretty much your entire life. It's how to stand up to them. Now, a lot of times, bullies are people that are hurting. Hurt people hurt people. So this could be something, at home, at a club. Maybe they're being bullied by somebody older and you don't usually see it. And a lot of the times they choose you because you look like an easy target and they want a reaction. Just because it makes them feel better knowing that they have that power that they have lost due to somebody else hurting them. That's all it is. They just want this feeling of power and control. And a lot of the times people who are bullied become bullies. They don't know how to channel that hurt, so then they reflect it on to others by bullying them. And sometimes you don't realise you're doing it, other times you purposely do it. So, first things first, you need to stand up to your bullies before you can move on. So, there's 3 major ways you can do this. First one, ignore them. Don't give them this reaction that they feed for, because then it makes them feel like they've lost that control and power. Yes, they'll probably move on to somebody else, but eventually they'll figure it out. So you ignore them. You block them on social medias. You ignore them in school. You ignore them at work. You ignore them wherever. If it gets a little bit hard, especially at school, you might get put in the same classroom. You tell your teacher, so then you get sat across the other side of the classroom. Maybe you can get moved classrooms, If it's at work, maybe, somebody at work can swap desks with you, or you can get moved to a different team, or maybe different shift rotas, but you ignore them. You block them on all forms of social media, and you just ignore them. Now, sometimes that doesn't work. And then sometimes they get a little bit more personal, or they start making up other social media accounts. So this is where you say something. And you try to go around the nice route for this step. Something along the lines of, look, hurt people, so I get it, you're hurting. I'm going to be here for you. If you need someone to talk to, you need a shoulder to cry on, you need a hug, you need a friend, I'll be here for you. But you can't put your hurt onto others by hurting them, because you're just creating a negative cycle, and we need to break that. So I'll be here for you if you need me. I don't know what's causing you to hurt, okay? But you can come and talk to me. Maybe ask them if they're in a safe place. Ask them if they need, some form of authority. Ask them if they're in that much danger at home that, you need to call the police for them. Try and be nice about it, because sometimes seeing this kindness given to them that they're not used to will make them realise more than if you were to snap. Now, if this doesn't work, and usually that step does work for me, I've had 1 or 2 bullies where it hasn't worked, you go into this final step, and please use this only as a last resort. Mainly because you can lose your job or get kicked out of school. But use this as your last resort. Or if things become violent, if you start getting physically abused. What you do is you try to be nice. Try to say that you're here for them. Tell them how it makes you feel, like in step 2. And if it doesn't work, you raise your voice a little bit. Shout at them. You tell them you've had enough. You no longer care what they're going through because they're hurting you. And you are your number 1 priority. If things become violent, and I mean this, never ever throw the first punch. But if they become violent, you can block. Maybe it gets too violent and, throwing a punch. Make sure they always make the first moves though. Try to not go towards violence. Try not to shout at them, Stick to ignoring them or trying to be nice. But worst comes to worst, you shout. You hit them if they've hit you. Don't oh, you hit me 3 days ago, so I'm going to hit you now kind of thing. Like, if they hit you there and then, and you can't block them, and they keep coming for you, that's when you do it. But, try to ignore them. Try to be on the nicer side of things. If you show compassion to these people that bully you, try to be nice to them, it usually works. You can go along the routes of telling teachers, tell team leaders, tell your manager, tell your family, tell friends, whatever. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work. But, try to ignore them or be nice to them. Worst comes to worst, you scream, you shout, you punch. That is worst case scenario. I don't condone violence. I mean, I used to do taekwondo just to, learn self-defense techniques because it was getting a little bit violent with one of the bullies that I was dealing with. But, try to be nice to them, try to ignore them. Do something that gives you a confidence boost. Because if you feel more confident, they have less things to bully you on. And it'll wear them down because you're not reacting. So for me, I used to, get bullied for the fact I was relatively big for my small size. I tried to keep to myself. I'd rather read than go out in the playground when I was a kid. That sort of thing. So I used to get bullied for that a lot. Used to get bullied for my weight, get bullied for, being by myself. So I started taekwondo. It gave me confidence. It helped me turn the unhealthy weight I had into healthy muscle weight. And, slowly, bit by bit, they had less things to bully me on. I got a healthier weight. It was more muscle. I studied harder in school. I'd missed a lot of primary school, so my grades were quite low. So I studied a lot, got my grades up. I tried to socialise, but I'd still rather read a book. But by, giving them less things to bully about, by making you more confident being you, they can't bully you on it anymore because you're comfortable the way you are. You should be happy and comfortable with who you are, and you shouldn't let these things get to you, but it can be hard, and I know it can. So you ignore them, and if that gets too hard, you try and be nice. The whole olive branch thing. Worst comes to worst, that's when you raise your voice a little bit. maybe you have to defend yourself because you're sick of it. But do not straight go for an eye to an eye, because then you're just as bad as these bullies. You know, if you can become confident and learn to ignore them, you know, they'll get bored. But you also have to think of it this way. They've chosen you because they think that you're weak. They think you're an easy target. But you're stronger than what you think. So let them bully you. Because while they're bullying you, they're leaving somebody else alone who might not have been able to deal with it, who could possibly struggle, and things could get way worse for them. I mean, when things got bad for me and I struggled to ignore them, that's what I thought. That's how I used to think. You know, while they're picking on me, bullying me, they're leaving somebody else alone, somebody who might not have been able to cope with it. Especially because, I don't know if this is the same for everyone, but at my school, teachers didn't care. We didn't do anything. So, you know, do something that makes you more confident. Ignore them. Try and be nicer to them. You know, keep thinking to yourself, while they're picking on me, they're leaving somebody else who wouldn't be able to cope alone. You know, because you are stronger than you think. But try not to end up like them. Worst comes to worst, you bully the bully. I was so good at sticking up for my friends and helping them overcome their bullies, you know, that I didn't do it for me. You know, and it feels so much better when you do. But don't become a bully unless you're bullying other bullies. Now, you're probably thinking, but then I'm just as bad as them for bullying people. Yes, you are. You know, it's the same as, I don't know, a guy that go around killing murderers only. It doesn't make you better than them. But if you stick to them only, like bullying bullies, they then realise what they're doing. And I'd like to say all the time they stop. They don't always. But you know, try not to go into that way. I would have strong words with people that would bully my friends or my family. And it's always easier to help other people stand up to their bullies than stand up to your own. But yeah, if you just stick to ignoring them, even if you have to fake your confidence, do it. Try and be nice to them. Worst comes to worst, you scream, you shout, you defend yourself. But always try and take the nicer route first. Show them kindness. You know, there's quite a few songs out there that even tells you to do it. One that comes to mind is Selena Gomez's song, Kill Them With Kindness. You know, do it. Show them kindness. It might not be something they're shown a lot. But try not to let it get to you. Because whatever they're picking on you, they're leaving somebody else who will probably be weaker alone. You know, if you can't get through to them no matter what you do, maybe you've tried everything. Maybe you have tried being kind. Maybe you've tried snapping back at them, being a bully back, and nothing seems to work. You can't ignore them. You know, and like teachers that don't do anything, managers don't do anything, and it gets worse. Maybe it becomes more like a hate crime. At the very, very last straw, you can report it as harassment or a hate crime to the police. Obviously, do not do that as a first go. If it's years of this, then do it. If it's just been a week, don't do it. Unless it is like a major hate crime. But always try to tell somebody higher up authority-wise than you. So parents, teachers, principals, head teachers, managers. I don't know, head of your company, team leaders, stuff like that. Try and deal with it that way first. I personally find that being kind to the bullies stopped them bullying me. And I still get some people now that try, but I've learned to be happy with who I am and the way that I am, so it doesn't really get to me that much anymore, and it's easy to ignore them. But just ignore them. Try and be nice to them. It can be hard, and I know it's easier said than done. But just remember, you are you for a reason. You are confident and strong enough to be you. And whether they're bullying you, they're leaving somebody else alone that might not be able to cope with it. I'm just going to end it there because I feel like I'm just repeating myself. But be you. Be the best that you can be. Be confident with you. And just be kind to pretty much everyone, but especially those that are unkind to you. So, plant a little self-love, guys. Be happy, be confident, and see you all next week. Bye.